Stay in the workforce as long as you can. Keep grinding for just one more year. You'll thank yourself later. You've probably heard that. Maybe someone told you directly. It seems that's the script that we've all been taught. But that advice might be completely wrong for you. And here's why. That advice comes with an assumption built in. It assumes all that sacrifice will lead to a healthy, fulfilling retirement. It assumes that the older version of you will actually still be around and well enough to enjoy what you spent years postponing. But what if that's not how it goes? And that's what this video is about. Because I think a lot of us, especially in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, are following a retirement plan that sounds completely logical on paper, but when you stress test it against real life, it starts to crack. And I want to walk you through why. Let's start with the standard advice, because you've heard it all. Save more, work longer, delay Social Security, max the 401k, push to 65, 67, maybe 70 if you can. Let the money compound, let the benefits grow. And none of that is wrong, exactly. But here's what it leaves out. It treats retirement like a math problem, and only a math problem. It optimizes for the number, but it doesn't account for what you're spending to get there. Your time, your energy, your health, your relationships, the experiences that you keep putting off year after year while you stay on the clock. Those things have real value. They're just harder to put in a spreadsheet. And this is where a conversation that I had recently really stuck with me. I had my annual wellness visit last week, a routine checkup, and somehow my doctor and I got to talking about retirement. He's been practicing medicine for decades. He's seen people at their best and at their absolute worst. And he told me the patients who weigh in him most aren't the ones who retired too early. It's the ones who had a plan, a good, responsible plan, and then life happened before they could use it. Heart attack at 63, cancer at 66, a spouse who got sick before they ever took the trip that they talked about for 30 years. He said he's never once, not once, had a patient near the end of their life say that they wish they worked more. Not once. They talk about places that they never went, time that they didn't spend with the people that they loved, things that they kept pushing off. Work, more hours, more money, never comes up. Then he said something that I keep coming back to. He said, at some point, protecting your future self starts costing your current self too much. And that's the part that people tend to ignore. If you're new here and this is resonating with you, go ahead and subscribe. This is exactly what this channel is about. Not just the number side of retirement, but the real life decisions, the psychology, the trade-offs, the stuff that actually matters when you get there. All right, now here's where it gets uncomfortable. Most people spend all their energy worrying about the risk of leaving too early, running out of money, not having enough, and that fear is real. I understand it completely. But there's another risk, and we almost never say it out loud. The risk that you wait, and you plan, and you sacrifice, and then you don't get to enjoy it. Or you get there, but you're not the same person that you used to be. I mean, your health has changed, your energy is different, and the things that you wanted to do, you can't do them the same way anymore. Think about how many people spent their entire career saying, when I retire, I'll travel. And then they retire and their knees are shot, or their spouse is sick, or they just don't have the vitality that they pictured. That's a real cost. It just doesn't show up in any retirement calculator. So I'll tell you where I landed personally. I chose early retirement. And it wasn't because that the math was perfect. It wasn't. It was because I wanted something more out of life than what I was getting. I wanted to travel while I could actually enjoy it. I wanted real time with my family, not just the leftover hours at the end of a long week. I wanted to wake up and feel like my time was mine. That mattered more to me than squeezing out every last dollar. But I also want to be honest about something. Not everyone gets to leave their job on their own terms. A lot of people, I see it constantly in the comments on these videos, they leave because their body made the decision for them. health problems, burnout that went too deep, physical limitations that made continuing impossible. And in a way, that forces a question that most of us spend years avoiding. What are you actually working for? And is the trade-off still worth it? Now, I'm not saying quit tomorrow. That's not what this is. What I am saying is most people have never actually questioned the assumption. They've just accepted the default. Work until you're supposed to stop, then live. But that default was built around a pretty specific picture. It assumes that you'll be healthy when you get there. It assumes that you'll have time and energy to do what you want. It assumes that the future looks the way that you imagine it. Sometimes it does. Some people do retire at 67, healthy and ready, and they have 20 good years. That's real. But it's not guaranteed. And I think we act like it is way more than we should. And I want to push back on something. A lot of people work longer than they actually need to. Not because the numbers say that they have to, but because they're scared. Scared of running out of money, scared of making the wrong call, scared of walking away from something that's been their whole identity for like 30 years. And that fear is real, and I completely understand it. But fear makes a terrible financial plan. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but how do I actually know if I have enough? And that's the right question. That's exactly the question to ask. What I'd say is this. A lot of people have never actually laid out the real numbers. Income sources in retirement, Social Security, pension if they have one, what they'd actually spend each month, what the gap looks like, if there even is one. And when they do that, sometimes with a financial professional, sometimes on their own, the picture is better than they feared. The fear was running the show without any real evidence behind it. Not always, but sometimes the gap is real and the work needs to continue. But you don't know until you actually look. My doctor kept circling back to this idea. He wasn't telling me to be reckless. He's a doctor. He understands risk as well as anyone. But he's also watched enough of these stories play out to know that's something that most financial plans never account for. Time is not a given. Health is not a given. The version of retirement that you're picturing, it's a possibility, but not a promise. He said that he's changed the way that he thinks about his own time because of what he's witnessed in the practice over the years. When you see enough endings, you start paying closer attention to right now. So, what do I want you to take from this? Retirement planning isn't just about protecting your future. It's about balancing your future against your present, because both matter, both are real. The question isn't only, will I have enough money? The deeper question is, am I making a conscious trade-off? Or am I just following the default and hoping that it works out? Because your healthiest years are happening right now. The energy that you have now at 52 is not the same energy that you'll have at 72. A lot of things that you want to do have a window. And that window moves whether you're paying attention to it or not. And I'm not saying all this to scare you. I'm saying it because my doctor said it to me in a pretty plain, matter-of-fact way. And it hit me. He's seen enough endings to know what people actually regret. And it's almost never the money. Look, I don't know your situation. I don't know your numbers. But what I do know is this. The people who seem most at peace with their retirement decision, early or otherwise, are the ones who made it on purpose. Not out of fear, not out of default. They looked at their real numbers, thought honestly about what they actually value, and they made a call. That's what I want for you. Now, let me ask you, are you still working because you truly need to, or because fear is making the decision for you? Let me know in the comments. If this video hit home, I want you to watch one more video before you go. It's called The Shocking Truth of Working Just One More Year, because that's exactly where a lot of people get stuck, thinking that one more year will make all the difference. And what that video reveals might completely change how you look at this entire decision. So go watch that one next. I'll leave a link down below. And remember, retirement isn't just a math problem. Thanks for watching, my friends. I'll see you in the next one.